Hello and welcome into this Virgo new moon solar eclipse, which we are having just in a few hours of my filming this. This new moon solar eclipse in particular is a very potent, powerful one. Not only is it going to be sowing the seeds for the next 6 months to come, this particular time we are weaving in cycles within a larger cycle. We are entering into this period of remembering, of reliving the last 2,000 years. This culmination of the Pisces Age and all of the distortions that came with it. These tenets and teachings of Christ consciousness. Unconditional love. Forgive them, they know not. And how that has been distorted. So there is this experience of reliving past lives, past memories that are stored deeply in our unconscious, deeply within our soul, that are surfacing now. And as they surface, here is this opportunity to take out that sponge and wring it out. Wring out all the delusions, all the illusions, all that is not true for you, where you are in your soul's journey and evolution, as well as our collective journey as humanity. If you are new to this channel, my name is Chrissy Whistler. I am an evolutionary astrologer as taught by Jeff Green, which means much of this astrology is actually coming to you via frequency and energy. I am also an energy practitioner and an intuitive channel, and you're going to start to see and to feel that coming through in this video. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, please go to chrissywhistler.com. I am in the process of relaunching my website. I was hoping to have that done for the equinox, but that's not going to happen because of life. And I am still doing my most important job, which is mom and home educator for my children, so it didn't happen. And then we went on a really big trip, which was its own ball of learning right there, let me tell you. But anyway, so my new target is October 1st. And what that means is if you would like to book a reading with me, whether astrology or an intuitive reading, energy healing session at my old prices, please go do that now before October 1st. As of October 1st, when I relaunch the website, I will also be relaunching with these new prices. So please go there if you are interested or if you've been on the fence working with me at all. And if you find this video helpful and supportive for what you are going through at this time, I really implore you, I ask you to hit that like button, to subscribe to this channel, to share this video with your friends, because it really helps so much when it comes to the technological algorithm that has a vested interest in keeping these kind of messages, helping you understand what's happening and why, as well as that empowering hope that I always my intention to bring to you. there's a desire to suppress those kind of messages. So every little bit that you can help me means so much. So thank you. All right, so let's start to really dive in to the meaning of this eclipse. Now, please understand as well that there is so much happening at this time that even in this video, which is probably going to be about 40 minutes to an hour, it's kind of my usual run time, I am still not going to cover everything. So your task is to, again, receive this frequency, these energies, and then reflect on your life. What seed is being planted for you at this time? What is your soul bringing to you to see and to experience? Where is your shedding of the old stories so you can continue to come back to center to who you truly are? And if you do have and know your birth chart, you can see where this 29 degrees of Virgo is falling in your chart. What house and what planets are being activated. And again, this is striking a gong for the next 6 months ahead, while at the same time there can be this deep reliving of old stories. Deep past wounds. So we're kind of working in this liminal space of, in order to move forward and to plant those new seeds, we have to first reflect and relive the past. This is a south nodal eclipse in Virgo, conjunct the dwarf planet Orcus. So this is a beautiful opportunity to, as you go into that past, are you willing to look at your shadow? Are you willing to see all parts of yourself, especially the shadow, especially those parts you would rather keep hidden and swept under the rug? Are you courageous enough to go into the shadows, those projections of your own wounds out onto others? Are you courageous enough to sit with them, to shine a light on these parts, these fragments of yourself? If you do so, there's a real opportunity to transmute those shadows into life, into light, to carry you forward, to be actually part of those seeds that you are planting, that you are here to be of service to the greater whole, to the greater good. Those spaces and places where you, where I, where we are most wounded is where our greatest gifts lie. It is in those shadows. It is in those wounds. And some of those, as I said, are very, very deep, very, very old. There is a real opportunity to reclaim these parts of ourselves and to see them for the power that they actually are and that we hold within us. So, as I said, cycles within cycles, this particular eclipse season is a culmination and a completion point of the Pisces Age. Now, that doesn't mean that tomorrow on the equinox, on the 22nd, 23rd, depending where you live in the world, it's all done, we're over it, we've moved on, culmination point is finished. That's not how this works. As I said, this is an energy, this is a frequency, and this is going to be with us for some time, and it's very much part of what we are seeing in our world right now. So I'm hoping to give you some grounding within your personal life, but also understanding of what the hell is happening in our world right now and why. The why is we are completing the Pisces age and all of the distortions around that. This teaching, this new age that began around Jesus Christ's birth, and the message as this embodiment of Neptune that he is, and how that got lost along the way, distorted. As I said, these teachings of Christ consciousness, which there is a resonance throughout many, many different religions, indigenous beliefs as well. It's not just only linked to one faith, one man. All right, so as I start to kind of move a little bit more into this, and no, this is not just going to be a God-centric video, as I can feel that some of you might be getting a little bit triggered by my speaking of that, which again is part of the invitation of why. Why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling as she mentions these words? Many of these words which have been hijacked, right? That's the distortion, that's the delusion, and I'll start to kind of move into that. But just be aware as well of your reactions and make a note of it so you can come and sit with that part and ask it why it is there. And get really, really curious, not with your mind, but with your heart. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, there is this reliving of the past. Wherever the south node of the moon is, that is what we are experiencing. A reliving of our past as a collective humanity, and then we're having individual experiences within that. And this particular time, you may very much be feeling that sense of persecution, that you are not safe, of where you are not enough, where you are not pure enough, where you are not perfect enough. You may also, again, as I said, persecution, you may very much feel that if you take a stand right now, that someone is going to come after you with pitchforks, that you will be burnt at the stake, that your neighbors will turn on you, hand you over to authorities. This is all within the deep memory of our souls, and that we are being asked to, as hard as it is, to lean into those energies, those feelings, those emotions, and to sit with them, to witness them. Our collective world is the mirror for us right now. The things that people are doing and saying, the actions of our neighbors, of our country and leaders, other countries, what they are doing is actually tapping into this deep collective memory that we have buried deep within ourselves. Now it is the time to see it, to heal these traumas, to reintegrate these fragments back into ourselves. So if you are feeling that sense of trauma, this hypervigilance where you are looking for that next shoe to drop, or for your neighbor to turn on you, this is not just about this here now moment in time. We are working within cycles. We are the fractal. And those feelings that you have, whatever they may be, is an opening into that deep past so you can have this opportunity to heal those broken fragments of your soul self and of the whole of humanity. That's why this is so incredibly intense. Right, clearing that energy. We are also, this particular solar eclipse, as I said, we're going into the past, is opposite to Saturn, now back in Pisces, which once again holds that story of persecution by authority figures, as well as Neptune, which is still smidgen in Aries. So there is this real dissolving of these old stories that we may be reliving. These old conditionings, maybe that conditioning is that you are not safe because your soul is remembering the last time you were here, your neighbors did turn on you. And that memory is cutting right through you. It is so sharp and so painful. It's really interesting. I've got a helicopter. Right as I'm speaking about Saturn and authority of society, I have a helicopter flying overhead. Where are those old stories of Saturn, of society, of these expectations, these distorted obligations that we need to let go of, that need to be dissolved? This particular time is extra intense is because it is our second Virgo new moon in a row. So the blue moon effect. We are getting a double dose of Virgo, which has so much to do with imperfection and not being good enough. And I'm going to keep moving into that theme. But first, let's talk about this polarity. That we are living in a world of extreme polarity. And no, that is not going to get easier overnight. It is necessary to have polarity so we can see it. It is this idea of, in order to know cold, you have to know hot. In order to know love, you must also have hate. And this is what that polarity is helping us to see, and to see the distortions, the delusions, and where that energy has gone out of balance. we are completing the Pisces age. This eclipse portal, this whole end of August, September, well into this next year coming up, we're finishing that story. We're completing these energies. We even have Regulus, the fixed star Regulus, is at 29 degrees of Virgo, just 1 minute away from this eclipse. Regulus is that, it is the lion energy. It is that royal star. That is what it is. This is an opportunity to come into that new energy, to plant the seed of this true royal star within each of us, which in Virgo at its highest octave is about being of service to others, to the collective, to the divine itself, to be the hollow reed, the holy reed, that channel so divine inspiration can flow through you, so you may be of service through your heart, because that is what you want to do, to be of service. So think of this seed planting moment, this opportunity. Even at the same time, there is this going back and reliving of the past, this clearing out, hollowing out of the old bullshit that we are done with. The old storylines, the old society, Saturn, that we're not playing anymore. We're not playing that game anymore. We are planting a seed for what it means to be within our hearts true royalty, true divine service. And yet, true divine service also needs that polarity. You can think of the energy, the messages that Jesus Christ actually held to be as that divine service to humanity, to God, to all of our earth. And at the other end, what are we seeing taking place right now? Is it no surprise that we are seeing a rise of this distortion of Christ's teachings in the collective? This complete revision, revulsion of his teachings of unconditional love, of loving thy neighbors, no matter who they were, where they come from, the immigrants. Forgive them, they know not. Pick up your cross and follow me. The cross that he held as he felt all of the pain of all of humanity across time and space, and he welcomed it into his body. True empathy, true unconditional love, and loving us even with all of our imperfections. Forgive them, they know not. Is that what we are seeing on the world stage right now? think so. The very man who flipped the tables at the temples for the money men that were there, right? The man who asked for the one who had not sinned to cast the first stone. And yet instead, once again, we are seeing the name of Christ, the name of God, being used as the very force to create harm, to create true evil upon others, upon the world. Which again even mirrors back to what happened during the Crusades and how many were killed and how much harm and pain those acts of violence caused and rippled out through the world. And might many of us very sensitive souls who have lived those lives on both sides of the coin, may we not be right now re-experiencing those lives through our soul's deep, long-term memory, through our unconscious, these feelings, these desires that are rising up right now as we see all of this being reflected to us, mirrored to us in the world, in our neighbors, what's being shared on social media. Might we be having an allergic reaction to all that is happening, Virgo, of what is being said and done, what is right now alive in the very air that we are breathing. If that is you, take these words to heart and really sit with what they mean for you and how they are surfacing for you right now. As I said last month, August 22nd, 23rd, we had our first Virgo new moon, 0 degrees of Virgo. And so we've been in this real hollowing out, humbling process, this deep need to discern as well, Virgo, where we've actually hollowed enough of ourselves out, and now it's the time to have healthy boundaries, to not just get swept up into the soup, into the collective energy, to be completely merged and to be absorbed with that. Healthy Virgo is, I am separate. I am individual. I'm going to take that sponge of energy and emotion from everybody in the world, and I'm going to wring it out because that is not mine, and I am not going to carry it anymore. So there's that necessary piece of hollowing ourselves out to be a divine channel and closing the door on other people's bullshit. And we don't need to take that on anymore. It's even this discernment of who we are giving ourselves to and how we are being of service. Deeply from our heart, is this person that I am following, that I am listening to, are they deserving of my energy, of my heart? Or are they part of that distortion? And I need to say, nope, I don't think so. So these are some of the teachings that can be really unlocking for you, this new door opening to deeper understanding for the next 6 months ahead. This new moon solar eclipse, 29 degrees of Virgo, is very much an energy of maturing. We are moving into this more objective reflection that we are receiving from others. We are getting this critical feedback, this objective knowing and awakening, this actually waking up to what is humanity, to see ourselves as who we truly are, as opposed to the distortions and the delusions. This is, again, coming into a discernment that healthy ego is a good thing. This is not going so far that we are taking a flail and smacking ourselves on the back because we are human and we have original sin. That's going too far. So this 29 degrees of Virgo is a maturing of those energies. And that's a seed, once again, is being planted for you. So really be mindful. Where are you going too far with your own beliefs of imperfections? When Virgo is at its best, Virgo is able to see what is not working so it can make it better. And it's allowing for that flow. Pisces, this is the polarity magic. Virgo is seeing what isn't working, but it's not tying itself in knots, being overly self-critical to get it perfect, because perfect is impossible. Perfect is never going to happen. That's the truth of Pisces. We are always in this perfect flow of imperfection and letting that be, allowing it to be. This is very much an energy of stepping into our own inner priest or priestess. This person who can claim their power, who they can sit in the middle and have this objective understanding within themselves as well as in those around them, and being able to hold that space and to hold that energy. Which is, again, very much this discerning of healthy and necessary boundaries between ourselves and others. With Mars completing Libra, 29 degrees of Libra, ruling Neptune and Aries, we are being initiated into true warriors, into true leaders. And my goodness, is that not what the world needs right now? Those of us who can see our own shadows, claim the parts of ourselves that are ours, not projecting that shadow onto others, but to say, nope, this right here, this is mine. I'm sitting with it. I'm working with it. And I will stand. I will fight for goodness. I will fight and hold that space of deep love within my heart to be of service to the others. Pay attention if this is you, and pay attention if you have any niggles, any reactions or triggers when I say those words, that you are being initiated into a true leader. Because if you have any reactions, that means you need to take a sit next to those parts and to feel into, to get curious of why you are not this leader, why you are not a warrior. Because I have a feeling that you are, and you are needed more than you know at this time. Call those parts back to yourself and reintegrate them back into you, because you are needed. The world needs your light. The world needs your strength. This is also part of that journey of Saturn and Neptune going back into Pisces, back into Aries. We are being initiated into true spiritual leaders, true spiritual warriors. So again, pay attention how this is being reflected for you. Nervous system overwhelm. I talked about that last month. I'm talking about it this month, plus the next 6-month cycle ahead. This is once again absolutely a theme. Nervous system overwhelm. This also has to do with our body, Virgo. And both our nervous system and our body are holding those deep traumas that I've been speaking of. Those soul memories that are locked into our unconscious, they are locked within our nervous system and our body right now. This is long-term memories of our soul as well as long-term memories of the human consciousness, the human collective. And this is part of what is surfacing right now. So be very, very mindful. And you might even want to seek out people who do work with nervous system regulation, spinal energetic, somatic energy work, like my friend Katie Gilmer. This particular nervous system overwhelm, we see it very clearly with this new moon is in a trine to Pluto in Aquarius. So again, this is a surfacing, a shining a light into the darkness of the long-term traumas buried within our nervous system. We also have another part of this trine is going to Uranus in Gemini conjunct Sedna. So once again, long-term memory in our unconscious. And this is going to be coming up through the polarity, Gemini, that we are seeing on the world as well. It's helping us to let go of those old stories, especially around the patriarchy. Uranus is conjunct to Sedna right now. We need to let go of the boat. We need to let go of that old bullshit so we ourselves may be transformed. Those parts of ourselves to metamorphosize into something completely new and different that is actually part of who we are. We also have Venus in Virgo. She is square to Uranus and Sedna and Gemini right now. So again, there can be reflections coming out from other people. This can thinking real impurities around our self-worth, financial sudden shocks and changes, any hard aspects to Uranus, to Venus can reflect that. So definitely don't be surprised if even on the world stage, we're entering back into this deep financial uncertainty that is absolutely on the menu for this fall going forward for the next couple of months. Another really big theme has to do with safety. This is Jupiter in Cancer right now, trine to our moon's north node in Pisces. Jupiter is also conjunct the planetary north nodes of Saturn and Pluto itself. I said Jupiter. Jupiter is conjunct Saturn, Pluto, planetary north nodes. All right, so what does this mean? Again, deep collective reliving of how we are not safe, how our emotions are not being honored in the world, in the collective, within our own deep inner child stories. I really recommend you to take time to unplug from all the bullshit that's happening out there. all the dramas, all the distortions, all the stories. It's not to say bypass what is happening, but know your boundaries. We need healthy boundaries, Virgo, in order to stay in our center. In order to be that safe place for everyone else, we need to feel safe within our own bodies, within our own nervous system, our own energy. So put your mask on first. If you're getting overwhelmed, if you're doom scrolling, if you're in a place of fear, turn off the phone. Stop with the social media. Go into nature. Connect to your heart center. When you are centered, then you can go out into the world and hold that space for others. But you need to take care of yourself first. And be aware if you feel guilty because you are doing so. That's part of the unnatural conditioning put onto us, especially in Western society and from parents, that we were told to feel. That we need to come last. That was certainly some of my upbringing, my conditioning. It's time to put our masks on our face first. We can breathe and we can hold that space for others. Okay. You may be feeling this can be a really hard time for you. We have Mars, as I said, 29 degrees in Libra, opposite to Chiron in Aries. Mars is going to be going into Scorpio very soon. This is setting a seed once again for the next 6 months. So be really aware of how you are not being allowed to honor your freedom, especially when it comes to other people. And I just spoke about that too with the mask and the guilt that you may feel by taking care of yourself first. This is part of it. This conditioning from other people, their subjective beliefs, their teachings, that we come last, that can be part of this wound. Is like, no, I actually do need to come first in some of these ways. Even if we're in a position of like being a parent or caring for our older parents or a teacher and so forth, where you actually have a responsibility for other people, you still need healthy boundaries. You still need to take care of yourself first. So what can that look like for you? So be really, really gentle with yourself. Be really mindful of other people and allowing them to go to the beat of their own drum. Where is their desire taking them? And can you allow them to do that? And if you can't, are you able to look in the mirror and ask yourself that question? Why can't you let this other person go to the beat of their own drum? How are you not allowed to do that? And that's why you're now projecting that out onto other people. This is part of this opportunity, this initiation, this finger of fate that's being formed with Mars right now in Libra to Saturn, Neptune. On the other side is to Uranus and Gemini. So there's this real opportunity. It's to experiment as we dissolve what's not working. These old, Saturn, Neptune is structural failures that are breaking. What is that for you? And can you experiment to do something differently? And it's like this going back and forth. It's not about getting it right. It's about tweaking, it's about refining, and it's about catalyzing it to something new. So be aware of this, especially with these deep wounds, soul wounds, where we were not allowed to be free. especially with other people, and that codependency that we may have been taught and conditioned to do and to be. Especially from society. Saturn says you can't do that. You can't take care of yourself. You can't go in that particular direction because you'll never make a living. You'll never earn money. You'll never be successful. All of the things, all of the stories. Be really mindful of what that is speaking to you personally, and to sit with those stories. So as I said earlier, tomorrow is the equinox. So this gong moment point, depending on where you live in the world, we're in some really, really big, potent energies. And Mars is going to keep moving forward this week. On the 24th, it will be in a square to Pluto. Mars in Scorpio, square to Pluto, is really intense energy. Fiery, eruptive, aggressive. So just make sure you take the space to witness yourself if that is you and you are getting into that energy, or if you're seeing that energy being reflected on the world stage. This is not about merging with the anger, merging with the reaction. This is space. Coming into center, being the priest or priestess to witness, to hold, and to see all. To sit in the middle and watch the polarities and not get merged with the story. You may need to take a stand. You may need to stand in your heart space and say strongly, no, I will not allow this. I will not get behind that. This isn't about not being strong, not standing up. It's about how you are doing it, how you are holding your energy and understanding where you are coming from, and not shadow projecting onto others. So be really, really mindful. As I said, this is not just about the 24th. This is a gong moment taking us into the next 6 months. It's going to be eruptive. It is going to be rocky. And can you hold that 29 degree Virgo space of sitting in the middle? Being objective, being very, very clear, and seeing what is not working and how we can experiment to make it better. Virgo is very measurable in its energy. It is bringing awareness to what is not working so we can make it better. We will be noticing what is broken, what is not working, and oh my God, we are going to see that on the world stage as Saturn, Neptune are right there on the Aries point. The actual point of death, resurrection, and new beginnings on the world, in the world. Don't go crazy with all that's not working, with all that imperfection. Be really mindful of self-blame, of diminishing yourselves because it's all your fault, everything that's happening in the world. Those are some of the mental thoughts that you could be experiencing. Be mindful. Be very objective in your seeing, because there is an understanding that we are re-experiencing the past 2,000 years. You're being up for renewal, to be seen, to once again, to be reintegrated back into ourselves. This is a very intense eclipse portal. And it has been very painful for many to see many within their energy and their sensitivities, and many in the world are actually reliving it, reliving those old stories. So be really, really compassionate. Hold grace to yourself. Be gentle. Go slow. As I said, this is healthy boundaries. So we're in this process of death. The world, the society that we know, have known for thousands of years, is dying. It is crumbling, and we are in that space of in between. Before we can start building the new, we have to complete the old. It has to be crumbled. It has to be demolished. We have to see it. We have to see where each of those pieces are within ourselves. This is not about just skipping ahead into the future. We are on the construction crew. Those of us, especially if you are being called to this video, you are on the construction crew for that new world, but we can't start building until we have demolished what is not working and what needs to fall away, first within ourselves and then in the world. That is this task that you are being initiated into as a leader, as a warrior, as a true visionary. And are you brave enough, courageous enough to step into that energy? To see all the parts of yourself, to hold all those parts with compassion and love, to forgive yourself, to forgive others, for they know not what they do. Even as you may be called to stand for goodness, to stand for love, and to not move from that space. This is a very intense period of time. Please, please know that you are not alone. You are here for this. You are here to hold this space. And if you are needing help, please do reach out. Have an astrology birth chart reading. Find out what this specifically means for you and why your soul is calling these particular experiences to you. And if you want to, again, work one-on-one with me in all of the ways and offerings, I have that available too. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with someone who you know is struggling, who is needing some extra guidance and support. Yeah, this is a hard time, and you can do this. You can surf these energies, these waves, because you know what's coming. I am so deeply grateful to all of you for being here. Thank you so much for being on this journey, on this earth. Our Earth Mother, Ome, our shared mother, with me and with everyone else here at this time. I am so grateful to you and to your light. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.